In this backtesting, I will focus more on entering the trades when we have some kind of classical structure S&D and zone, and then I will not try to enter here, but either on clean impulse correction and then on the break of it, or ideally on the break of this high. So I don't know how it will go, but yeah, or on a clear like impulse correction from the zone, but not a direct confirmation of the zone. Let's see how it will go. So a quick analysis here is just that we will follow some bullishness established by this impulse, fractal reaccumulation, and then impulse again. So until this holds, we basically will not look for shorts. And entry time frame will be 15 minutes. And as you can see recently, so these are daily zone, and we started impulse correction. So this will be basically entry pattern, like impulse correction and enter here, or like impulse correction, enter here. Or maybe sometimes it will be like this: impulse correction, correction, and enter here. So I will focus more on entering a bit later from the zone to avoid this chop and this chop, because you see, for instance, if we take this situation and if I imagine how it all looks on lower time frames, then you will see that we had, of course, higher time frame impulse correction, and now the price is clearly moving to take this high. And here it makes impulse correction, impulse to the upside, this candle, and then maybe you are entering here, or when the price may be reached and give one more entry here, but then it makes this weak. However, on the break itself, by the way, you see on the break it also went here. On the break afterwards, it didn't return to this point and gave more clear and more fast move. This is something that I want to test today. So what we have on 4 hours is this zone correction and impulse. After that, we need to expect either continuations or slowing down and continuations, or slowing down and continuations. Let's go to 1 hour first. And we have this zone on 1 hour, and then this 4 hour zone, which could be refined somewhere here. So let's go to 15 minutes. Yeah, and by the way, this is an example where like the strategy to wait actually on confirmation of for a breakout could be useful. Why? Because let's say you see this as absorption, and now you have your confirmation, the candle that is breaking the candle. So if we enter from here, having all this zone here and overall a bit overextended after the break, and I mean really relatively overextended, yes, it can go, but you see, when we are entering here, like on this zone, we can have a lot of options that can knock us out of the trade. But usually when we are entering on a break, then we can expect these expansions. And but of course there will be different breaks. Like here we have this shallow impulse, like really weak and weaky pullback, and then, you know, a break out of nothing. However, when you have like something like maybe let's quickly look. Maybe even this example, though it's not perfect. So you have impulse, this correction, and then impulse here, correction, small horizontal correction, and impulse. So something like this, or well, we will see on the backtesting. Yeah. But by the way, that's Asian session, so of course this will not be an entry. This will not even be a zone. Interesting. So this is the beginning, actually the beginning of London. And the problem with this setup is that we already have 1, 2, 3 shifts to the upside. Yeah, I mean, we should definitely wait for some reaccumulations. However, impulse correction is there. So we can even try to enter from here. If we break these highs, if we break it maybe all the way here, we could target the 2R. So you see, not breaking, but not stopping. So yeah, this should probably be a stop out, no? Yeah, definitely you see it. So there was a movement, so not a bad trade. Again, the problem with this is that entry time frames are a bit overextended. Also, this impulse itself, you see, it just broke barely the high, and there was no no confident break. In addition, higher time frames also are just a little bit overextended. You know, it would be great to see this comeback and then build up. And also, of course, my favorite setups for this will be like when assume this was the whole impulse, then correction, then impulse again, maybe build up before the high, and then go. So something like this. Let's move forward. Yeah, actually it stopped out, it went all the way to the target. Now we have this correction. Correction to where? Probably to this zone. So let's see. Yeah, we have a tap into the zone. So does it make sense to look for shorts now, since we shifted sometimes to the downside? Of course, no, because it is like, if it is a pullback, then it's just only a start, basically no confirmation. At this point, it should be treated as a potential reaccumulation. So something like this, it should be treated. But of course, to enter straight from the zone is too risky as well. I would say that shorts on 15 minutes or better on 5 minutes would be possible if we see something like this, like a pullback and one more break, or even one more break. And then here you can look for some shorts, maybe into these zones, but again, not because of the zones are here, but because you are trading quite established bearish trend on lower time frames after distribution, and maybe after some local redistributions. So you see the difference. We do not trade into the zones, but we trade some established trends on specific time frames. And right now, even on this time frame, on entry time frame, all we can see is this bullishness, and this is probably something like these reaccumulations. But we need now to confirm that bullishness is there. And we have it. We kind of have it. We have 1 hour, 4 hour ranges still with us. We have mitigation of these zones on 4 hours. So right now we need to look for this. We need to look for this. But better entry would be maybe even after the break of this, because right now it's still like this portion is playing against us. Okay, we have a break. Now we need to have some kind of correction, some kind of tightening. Ideally, we will have like this impulse, correction, impulse, something like this. Because I mean, I can enter on the break on 4 hours, but yeah, I'm entering. So yeah, this is tightening and this is impulse. So let's enter here, protect ourselves here. So impulse, correction, impulse here. Okay, stopped out. Now we have deeper correction. And this is Asia. But what I would expect is this impulse. And if we break this, then I would expect go. Until we break this with nice impulse, you know, I would expect a bit deeper correction or a ranginess inside. So I just need to skip it. However, yes, as you can see, so this range provided basically good entries and from the zone and on the break. And we have one more impulse, correction, and possible impulse here. So let's protect ourselves like this. So one more impulse to the downside. And now we have this chain here, which is breaking. However, 4 hours are still holding. And now we are in this range. Okay, moving lower. Moving lower and showing the reaction from here. So again, is it a good time to short this? Probably not. Especially taking into consideration the fact that we just tapped a refined zone on daily and 4 hours, and we created impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, and we are actually looking for these breaks to the upside here. However, it's a bit late on the session, so let's just wait. But as you can see on the break, the entry was there. Now we just wait Asian time. And this is London. So what we have? We have some bullishness that is being established. And what were the possibilities for entries? We could enter on this clear impulse correction, impulse to be, well, if you protect here, then you are not stopped out, or you can have this zone. Now we are looking at something like this happening a bit later. We have impulse, correction, and possible impulse. So let's enter here, protect ourselves here. The downside for this entry is relative overextension here. It would be nice to see this pullback, but let's try. I mean, of course, when you are in the trade, you don't want to see any pullbacks. Okay, so it reached, show even here, to R, and now it seems like we will have one more pullback. It would be great to break some lows. Okay, great. So again, all this time from the beginning of this testing, we first of all are looking at this target. Okay, so this is the target from this range. I mean, yeah, the main range is this, but this is some news or anything. I mean, now we are establishing this. So until basically this low is holding, we can look for some longs. And we started with this build up on 4 hours. So bullish, 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 bearish, and again bullish, bullish. Some reaccumulation here and a reaction from the zone. So still trading to this high. Let's mark the high of 4 hours as our target. So now at this moment we have daily 4 hours and 15 minutes confluence when, of course, not exactly now, but with breaks to the upside. So you see, even if you are trading bearishness, let's say you enter on this break and protect here. I mean, yeah, it could work, but yeah, just compare how bearish moves are developing, like up and down, up, and how bullish structure is holding well. So what we have, first impulse correction, impulse here, one more correction. So if we break this, but I want to see a break a bit higher. Okay, you see, I mean, the break could follow, but the problem with this is that again, it's a little bit too high. You see, we actually, it's not like quite realistic to expect that this move will be here. It's realistic maybe to expect this, like this, and then go. So, but it will be a bit lucky. Now, what I expect is a bit deeper pullback. Yeah, something like this, and now either even deeper. Yeah, it goes deeper. It goes deeper, but now it's like nighttime, so I need to skip it. Okay. London breaks it. Again, this is pretty ranges, so not really optimal conditions, but we have impulse correction and possible one more impulse to target this high. We are pretty close. So if we will break it, let's follow the impulse. So get a trigger and immediately a stop out, I guess. Maybe yes, maybe no, I don't know. Okay, great. Actually, it was a winner. Again, you see how interesting. So the break. So once we had like this impulse. So these corrections are really hard to spot, of course, and this one. But this one is more obvious. After the break, impulse correction, and then continuations in confluence with 4 hours target. And yeah, so what do we have now? 4R 1 2 3 4. So break even as for now. Yeah, not the best results, but let's analyze a bit what possible entries we had here. So first of all, we had this break, which was okay. So if you enter here, maybe you protect here, and then it's a loser or break even or not a loser. And then here, if we say that this is our zone, then this is absorption. You can enter here or on the break and protect here. And now we are looking at impulse correction and possible deeper correction based on the fact that we broke this 4 hours high. So maybe we will have some tightening before the break or deeper pullback. Because of the lag, it's relatively overextended. So what we have here is like 1 break, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with 1 reset. I mean, it could continue, but now the price, you see, it becomes the pullback is strong. It created its own impulse and correction, and I don't want to see it right now. I just want to wait. I mean, if it wants to go, let's give it a chance, of course. So we can say that this is our buy stop, and and if we break all the way here, we can enter and we will have our target below the daily high. But other than that, I don't see anything. So you see how interesting. I'm sure if it would like make a good break, it could provide a follow-up. But if you're entering, if you consider this as a zone, maybe you enter here and now you are stuck. You see, you're basically stuck in this range and there is a high chance that you will be stopped out. So probably this could save a lot of losers. So it's a tap, on the buy stop, and we are having a break here. It would be really nice if it would continue, because the logic is definitely here. So we had this impulse maybe on like 20 minutes, like 30 minutes, it's more obvious. So impulse correction, this build up and now breaking up. Yeah, it would be so nice to see it moving higher. Creating one more impulse correction and one more break. So again, this entry would be late, quite late. As for me, oh no, we are approaching Asia, so do not expect too much out of this trade. Yeah, so this is actually a loser with a reaccumulation here. Impulse correction. So if we break this high, so we have two highs. If we break it, then I guess this is a legit trade. Break and down, yeah. Break and down. Oh my god, why so rangy? Yeah, this is crazy, like nothing. Okay, we have some movement to the upside. What we have in terms of 1 hour. 1 hour is starting to hold. As you can see, you have this zone. This zone. And we have all these highs to break and to reach daily highs. So could it work? Yes, it could. Does it look good? No, it doesn't. It's Asia. It's the morning of London. It's impulse tightening. But you know, this is a time where I just want to see this break. Again, if a usual entry from the zone, you probably maybe enter somewhere here, protect yourself, and now like really anxiously wait for the move. But what I want to do is wait for, so in real life, for me, this one for now will be too high. So I will maybe wait for this break as a buy stop. Okay, I will just cancel for now. We have a build up. Okay, we have some shell. I mean, it's not perfect impulse. You see, it's like wiki. You know what? If we break this, let's try. It's not tapped yet. Tapped. Impulse possible correction. Now we need to see this confirmed. I'm pretty sure if we will confirm with at least this kind of candle, it will reach the target. But if not, then it will be a stop out. So yeah, now I'm more confident in the trade. After this break, even more confident, and more confident. Okay. So definitely, if I was trading from the zones, then you could argue that this is your zone and that is your zone, and you could enter here definitely, like once, Then you go here, maybe the price starts to go, you enter here twice, and if you protect here, I mean, this for me would definitely be a loser, because I would protect somewhere here, and it would be pretty emotional loser because it would take me out by these wicks. So definitely like 1 or 2 losers I saved myself with this break, and more entries were possible maybe here after this impulse correction on the break. Protect yourself here and this one. Then you had this entry which never reached this deeper zone. Break here, correction into the zone, so the entries were possible here. But you see, if you enter even here, now you see, now you have like 1 2 3 4 5 6, like 10 candles before the break. And if you enter maybe here on the break, it just starts to go immediately into profit. So something like this. This was another possible entry. Interesting, interesting. I quite like it, but I mean, it will be hard for me to sometimes to give up these moves. But from my experience, this is what you often see in the zone. So back and forth in the zone, accumulation in the zone, and then this stage 2 starts and then fuels up on the break, maybe makes one more move, and then it like comes back to some unclear price action. Okay, now we are in the same familiar situation, which is called after the break. So what we expect after the break? We expect, I mean, some extraordinary days, they provide this and one more break and one more break. However, most days will provide something like maybe this, and then we can look for entry here. And now we have a new high with a confluence of higher time frames high. Yeah, so let's just wait a little bit. And we have a correction. We have a correction which is looking like weak bearish impulse on entry time frames, and we are reaching into basically these zones, and I mean basically something here. We reached for it, and now we are probably stepping into the same situation like here. So we can enter from the zone, but then we risking here. What we risk if we are not entering from the zone? Basically, we are not risking to miss the trade, because we can enter on the break to the upside, and then we risk only this situation where, you know, you have a break and then one more reach to the downside, maybe to stop you out, and then it goes. But it will have much less chances compared to stopping us out here. And of course, sometimes if you enter earlier, then your take profit will be here and not here, maybe. And so you just will reach it faster, maybe. We have this impulse, small impulse, which does not break anything, so let's just wait. I mean, it's too perfect to be true, you know, too perfect to be true. Impulse correction, impulse. I mean, it's just like too beautiful, you know, too beautiful for me. Asian time. So if we imagine that we entered somewhere here, I mean, I expect to stop out this. But it does not want. So if it wants to break it all, so let it break it all. If it does not want to do it, then it will go down. Okay, it goes down. It goes down for reaccumulation on entry timeframes. And we know that we are still inside this 1 hour 1 hour range, which became unclear here. And basically, yeah, I don't like it as well. We have this impulse possible correction. The problem with this correction, of course, as maybe you noticed, that there are two types of correction, like impulse, then wiki correction, like we have here. And then there is a second type of correction, wiki as well, but not as wide in the range. And then there is a correction where you just have really a tightening, you know, like impulse, tightening, and impulse. And probably the less the higher the wider this correction is, the less chances it has to work out, in my opinion, in my eyes, because it just does not hold the structure so well. But it starts to break it up. I mean, let's try. So yeah, the problem with everything here is just it's stuck, you know, it's just stuck. And we have this chain. I mean, I'm willing to give it one try only. Well, okay. 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 So we broke it. We have several consecutive shifts now on entry time frames. We have this pretty weak impulse tightening and impulse up, so we expect it now to continue maybe a little bit. And we broke daily high, so yeah, now the fun part finished, and we have this zone on daily. Basically that's all we have on daily, because maybe something here now. Everything else is mitigated. And now this is our indication for daily confluence. And now we expect the same from daily tightening, continuation, or if it wants, deeper pullback. In this situation, if it will provide like good distribution on 15 minutes and then nice shifts, if your target is 2R, then why not to trade this pullback? It's possible. However, you need to understand that you can be stopped out, but sometimes, as you can see, it works. It works. So it depends on what your targets are. So we have this zone. We don't need to come back to it. However, what we had, accumulation, stage 2 started, reaccumulation, tightening impulse, and now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, that's too much, you know, that's too much. 6. It still can work, and it gives impulse almost perfect correction here, but I don't believe you perfect correction. It's just a bit too high in the market. A bit too high in the markets, but we have one more impulse and correction to the upside. Nah. Yeah, and it starts to be wicky, it starts to lose its momentum, starts to be horizontal. Now it's in the box. So Yeah, yes, this is 2.0, but how does it look? It looks like awful. Like we say, if this is a break, you see candles are all different. It immediately starts to break with this bearish candle. Up candle can't go and like confirm its bullishness. Now this pullback, so-called, is the impulse in itself, and now this is starting to hold. So probably this zone will not hold, and this all is starting to look like a distribution back and forth, wiki back and forth. After the break, after the pretty high break on daily, and it works, it actually works. Oh, it actually works and creates impulse correction. Well, it could work sometimes. Yeah, it could work. But now, yeah, now I'm just waiting. Doesn't want to break. Doesn't want to break it. Let's wait for the break of this if it wants to happen. If it wants to happen, and it even provides impulse correction, impulse pattern. We have this, we have that. So this is a bit too impulsive for me, probably some news. But we definitely can go and attack this higher. Let's say like this, if we break, then I'm good to enter. But before that, okay, does not want to break for now, but we can still keep it there. Yeah, definitely we need to cancel it, and that's great because probably one loser is saved, which is great. Okay, at last we have some pullbacks. At last, will this zone hold? I don't know, but now it's a bit too rangy. So let's wait for some 2.0s on 1 hour. I mean, now it's just one big, I don't know what. We don't know what is that. Maybe it's a tightening on daily. Maybe it's a start of distribution on 4 hours, 1 hour to go lower. Yeah, but the problem is that this all is happening high after the break. Ideally, we will have a break to the downside. Yeah, I mean, I could maybe find something here or here, but yeah, it's a bit too high for me. A bit too high, starting to break. So how it went? Like impulse, big correction, impulse, big correction. Now build up. I mean, it's really wiki. Yeah. I want to see some pullback at least to here. But it doesn't want to go there. Yeah. So we have this impulse through the high, and one more correction. But I mean, I can give it one try. Yeah, why not? I mean, the market is just going up. But it should be probably a loser. Yeah. Oh, crazy. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, it just what does not want to stop. So the main target becomes this high, of course. And what we did there is created this impulse, correction, impulse, and now probably impulse to the upside. However, I mean, this all starts to look overextended based on ICIs and based on structure as well. Impulse, correction, impulse. But at least we need to have some tightening before continuation. So just break in, maybe some 2.0s. Just starting to break, and the thing is that everything is mitigated here, as you can see. So our zones, some zones that we have unmitigated, maybe from 3 days, are lying here, like this big zone. So what we can do is expect some bearishness to continue, and on 1 hour we have some established movement here. It would be great to see something like this and then maybe clear bearishness, but yeah, so this was clean move, but probably not clean entry. Maybe something here or here. So yeah, still overall very bullish, but we have this impulse correction and possible impulse to the downside. What is this? Asia, London. Starting to slow down. Nothing is clear. Okay, impulse. Yo. I mean, we can give it one try, I guess. But, I mean, no, I don't want. And it works. Son of a bitch. It actually works. Impulse, correction, impulse. Impulse, correction, impulse. Okay, now we have at least some kind of redistribution. This is Asia time. This is London. That's crazy. So we have this. We have some bearish local trend. We have this daily just falling, and we have 3-day zone here. We have 1 hour impulse. I mean, 2 hours maybe better. Yeah, 4 hours is the best, like this. And most importantly, we have a really established bearish trend that is showing this one shift to the upside, which is started immediately to slow down in the zone. We have this zone and we have this low. So if we break it like this, maybe we can do something. So breaking it, and yeah, but it's like not an ordinary entry. It's like really too overextended entry. I mean, okay. Let's wait for 1 hour now. What it wants to do. It wants to do impulse correction. And if we will see anything. Again, if I would trade some zone trading, I would start to look from this zone. However, as you can see, it's right now, until the market does not provide at least pullback to this, it's extremely overextended. So overextended for shorts, but it's definitely too early for longs, because for longs we want something maybe like this, and then longs ideally, and it will mean that we mitigated the 3-day zone. So anything will be too early or too late for shorts. And you see, this is already a provided entry if you are entering from the zone. However, if you are waiting for this impulse correction, impulse, then it's a different story, because if it will do it, then fine. If it will not do it, then you are saved. Basically 1 or 2 entries saved. But here is what I think. If we get triggered, so first of all, this is Asia, so I'm skipping. But I do believe that if the market will go below it, it will then snap back to the upside, because so I think that we will see something like this. It just yeah. Okay, we are just moving to the upside here. And now we are in some unclear price action, because we shifted to the upside. Now, yeah, now I guess I need to wait. Okay, we have a move into the zone on 4 hours, into this one. But we are moving really aggressively. And we actually held this zone. We actually held this zone, created an impulse correction. We have some targets here on 3 days, you know, so we can still reach lower. 4 hours, 1 hour still holding. So for bullishness, it's definitely too early. We need accumulation and break. So basically the only thing that we can look for 15 minutes now are shorts. We had this distribution here in the zone. So basically no entries there. Then a big impulse correction, which provided an entry on the break because it didn't reach any zone. So the price started to move, and then if it breaks, you can enter, and probably, so let's assume we entered here, protected here, yeah, and it would give a good entry. Then it created a redistribution here, created impulse correction impulse, which also went to the target. However, of course, this entry is not that obvious. In the hindsight, it is easy, but in the moment, you saw the start of redistribution that could go even higher. Now one more redistribution, and price action is unclear at the moment. Now Asian session, so just wait. However, overall, until these 4 hours is holding like this, we can expect bearishness. We have impulse, wider correction. Interesting what will happen now, because this is almost the same pattern as this, but not so extended. Breaks to the downside. Taps into the zone, but still real unclear to say a direction. We don't know where the market wants to go. And what worst of all, it can just continue for a long time like this. Okay, up. So this is when middle time frames are extremely weak and unclear. So Even the fact that we are having one market to test, I don't want to touch it. It's just too bad. Okay, now we are clearly breaking to the bullish side. Which argument do we have for bullishness? So we just tapped into this bigger zone. The low is still here. This is basically the first sign that we have at least some bullishness. However, everything is still holding bearish. Can we follow this almost perfect impulse and correction? Probably yes, you know, because if we consider the higher time frame zone, we can see how this pullback develops. So at this point, it could be a redistribution, no? Because you just moved, as you can see, down, 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 up, redistribution, down, up, redistribution. But now, like this portion of price action is what? Down, down, up, down, up, basically up. It's just happened that this structure is like this, up, up, down, up. So this is now with this really clear move is a possible accumulation, which created already a pullback. So let's see how it will develop on 15 minutes. So now we are a bit more bullish based on the daily, and we expect this bearishness to finish. We have impulse, this is all Asian time, skipping impulse into the zone. And one more impulse during London after the holding of the zone. Bullish 1 hour, bullish daily, and we have impulse, possible correction. I mean, again, let's give it a try. If we break, maybe here. Yeah, the problem with this is that we have this high, but if the market will go, then it just fuels it up, not stopping it. Okay, we have a tap into the zone. Impulse correction, impulse, breaking it to the downside. What is that? I mean, okay, let's assume a tap, a loser, and if we go above, let's just do this. Okay, we don't go above. I mean, that's probably some news, you know. Yeah, I will just cancel it. So this will be a loser. And now I just want to see some breaks. Oh, no, 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 wait. Okay, so definitely this is working out like impulse, correction, impulse. So now what? Still unclear. However, based on 1 hour, we can try to follow these impulses, hoping that this is accumulation that will start to work. However, of course, we need to understand that this can be for a longer time, and we didn't have real bullishness here. So yes, we understand that technically this is our target, but we don't know yet. We don't know exactly that the market wants to go there. This impulse is nice, but relatively overextended. So we have impulse correction. One more impulse. This is Asian time. So impulse, impulse correction, possible impulse to the upside. Nope. Okay, again, some news coming in. Some really overextended ranges, which are hard to trade, but let's wait. If it wants to go up, then we can enter on fractal impulse correction impulse. So something like this, impulse correction and possible impulse there. Let's do like this. So again, if we enter from the zone, this already could be an entry, maybe here. But you see, it went up and now can like stop us out. But what we are waiting for is this buy stop. Which never happens yet. Let's wait a little bit more. So we definitely have this tightening here, impulse, correction, and if it goes, then it can go. So just something like this, and then we will protect the lows. Okay, starts to go. Let's wait for a tap. I mean, this will probably be a loser, but then if it will break here, I'm good to go. So, I mean, I'm still holding this trade, so that this trade that I just deleted was only active if this was a loser, but now it starts to go, so I don't. Just one trade. So one loser or one winner. Yeah, that doesn't want to go here. So it could be a fractal reaccumulation. Yeah, but it just goes down. Unfortunately. Okay, so what we have in terms of daily. We just have this unclear box. Okay, unclear box. So nothing for bearishness, nothing for bullishness. Let's just wait a little bit. Okay, bearish. Bit bullish. Bullish. Okay, so we have impulse correction on 1 hour. Still confirming possible accumulations and breaking out of this. So our nearest zone is basically this one bigger with these refinements. So everything's mitigated here. Let's wait for something clear. I mean, it's pretty clear on 1 hour. However, on 15 minutes, there is nothing. Breaking the 1 hour, not breaking. Making this not clear impulse. But one try is okay if we break it. Let's go. Stop. Oh no. Asian range, and it just taps me out. Still having this, you know, so we have this after the break, so it could work. Impulse, correction, and on the break we can try to enter. So again, if entering from the zone, the entries are possible somewhere here, but then it can go like here, impulse, correction, boom. So you can save some losers there. Yeah, something like this. Okay, it actually doesn't want to go. So you see, loser saved. Nice. And we have a tap into refined zones, but it seems like it doesn't want to hold. Yeah, doesn't want to hold, but get an absorption here, this one, and then instant buy up, like really nice move. Everything else is unclear, so let's just wait for 15 minutes. So this is Asian time, so we need to skip, but overall expecting that high to break. which is not happening in the moment. News. So this is a news range, the two big candles. Let's wait for the break to either side. So we have bullishness, impulse, correction, impulse. Let's wait for bigger correction, impulse. So again, on the zones we have this, and we have basically this candle which is mitigated by the next, so maybe something like this. And now we could enter from the zone, risking these shakeouts, or we can wait for actual new impulse to come in and then enter. So we have a tap. I mean, we didn't have a tap yet. Now we have, and I want to protect a bit deeper with a bit deeper target. That's a loser, definitely. Now we have this zone in an overall rangy market, so no clear trend presented yet. We will have a reaction. We have some kind of reaction. One more take on 2.0s, which is pretty clear. Let's try to follow it again, maybe once or twice on this bigger range. Yeah, so now definitely expecting this to break. I wonder if we will have one more entry. Impulse, smaller correction. Oh no. Okay, correction. So let's just try to follow this tap. Okay, nice. And by the way, it would still possible to enter on the zone or on the break, of course, of this high or highs, impulse, correction, impulse, or from the zone. So yeah, you see, when the price action is clear, it actually gives like good entries for both sides. But the thing is, clearness of classical structures and deconfirmation becomes more clear in the hindsight, you know, because yeah, but clearness of the break is more real, so to say, in real time, because when you have a break, that actually means that the volume is there and the price is already moving. However, when you are in the zone, you have a price that is still deciding, still filling these orders to either move up or down. So it's actually not, I mean, in this moment, the price is not moving up or down. It's just in the zone. But here, it's already have a reaction and a big one, and now it's ready to continue. Like, it's really interesting pattern, and definitely saved me a couple of losers. Yeah, so let's just continue. Impulse correction on the 1 hour. Bigger correction, great. Even bigger. Even bigger. Okay, it's time to move to 15 minutes. So this is the first shift on 15 minutes. However, it's like fractal redistribution, not confirmed but possible. And in terms of zones, mean, we have some zones here. Actually, we have this bigger zone. We already, oh, but the thing is that we are just breaking out of this accumulation. But usually what we have after first shifts, we have some down shifts as well. And it's possible that we start to build up this to hold these 3 days, yeah? So overall, this is our main target now, our short-term target. And we have this as a first shift to the upside. You know what? If we will break again, this is what is nice about this strategy, about this like variation of entries, that yeah, you basically don't need to enter here. You need to wait either for this and then enter here or here, or you just skip it. And if we enter here, so what is our expectation? This is pretty bearish. We are not. So this impulse is so much different compared to this. You see, it's so much different. I mean, not in its form, it's almost the same, but in the place where it happened. So we can expect some more absorption. So imagine that we enter. So again, it's not entry, but imagine that we will enter here. What is the chance that this zone will hold like perfectly while we don't have a momentum? I mean, okay, it holds, but yeah, and then breaks. But again, it's not the entry, it's not winner or loser. But yeah, this is quite expected. You see, this was basically first shift to the upside. So this is technically still a redistribution. However, we remember about 4 hours, which created this beautiful impulse to the upside. And until this big zone is holding, everything is pretty bullish from middle time frames. Pretty bearish from entry time frame. Again, one more shift. So now it's a second shift in this local pullback. Now it can look more like accumulation. And you see it becomes more wiki, more unclear, you see, more random. This is a sign, these are signs of accumulation. It's not like, and you see it's becoming more horizontal. It's not moving like this up. It's already started to be more horizontal. Okay, now we have shift to the upside, but it's pretty late. But expecting bullishness from here. Okay, not yet. Like really deep tap into the zone, like surging. Impulse correction, impulse. But you see how hard it would to trade anything bearish. So, I mean, the move starts from here inside of this up impulse. If you enter on this break, then you are stopped out. Here, basically, no, I mean, it's just random move. Then, if you consider this as a pullback, then you have no confirmation. If you enter on the break, you are stopped out. The only place you could enter is here, but then it would be hard to place a stop. Yeah, so basically you have a lot of losers and not good winners.